An event that was newsworthy for all the wrong reasons. AEW had been hyping up All Out for a couple of months now, and fans were expecting the pay-per-view of the year. It wasn't that though, and all the talk from the show wore off in an hour because of a very controversial media conference. I'll dive into that soon, but let's talk about this quickly. The pre-show consisted of 4 matches, and it wasn't a favorite of mine. We saw Kingston and Tomohiro in a chop fest that was easily the best match of the night on the buy-in. Action Bronson saved Hook from an attack, which was something. Sammy and Ty beat Ortiz and Ruby Soho in an match, which is most memorable for this awkward spot. Then, of course, Pac and Kip Sabian for the All-Atlantic title was decent. Now, on to the official show. The first match on the show was the Casino Ladder match, with the winner receiving an AEW World Championship match. Wheeler Yuta, Rey Fenix, Rush, Andrade El Idolo, Claudio Castagnoli, Dante Martin, Penta El Zero Miedo, and the Joker faced off. In terms of ladder matches, this one wasn't that good, especially when we've seen so many other ladder matches. It just blends in. There was some rough spots though, as always, but this ladder match is far from a favorite of mine. Then to top it all off, some random masked men attacked the participants, and it was revealed to be Stokely's guys. This all happened just in time for Stokely to hand the chip to the Joker. He teased unmasking but didn't, and it was some weird stuff. Stokely winning it for the Joker was like James Ellsworth a while ago, and in terms of ladder matches, it's not the best, but the result is something I enjoyed, because it led to something at the end of the night, of course. The next match is for the AEW Trios Tag Team Championships. The Dark Order, John Silver and Alex Reynolds, and Hangman Adam Page faced the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega, the Elite. Kevin Nash's favorite wrestler finally returned, and it's been a long time. I see Kenny Omega as the liver of AEW, and thank God he has his old look. He even came out without any bandages. As for Hangman, he's got this awkward relationship with the Bucks. He fell for his own friend, who was hurting at a moment. The action was wild and as expected, and Omega was desperate to show everyone that he's back. There was a nice callback to old encounters, the near falls were convincing, and to top it all off, Hangman accidentally dropped Silver, leading to the Elite capturing the titles. Awesome stuff. It's cracked up as always, and it's one of the best matches of the night. Omega even told everyone to try and top that. Did they? Well, it's a matter of opinion. The next match was for the TBS Championship. Jade Cargill defending the gold against Athena. Number 37, as Kiera Hogan called her, was perceived by some to be the next champion, but that didn't happen. Jade Cargill came in looking like She-Hulk, and about this one, yeah, it just happened like that. 4 minutes. Cargill retained, which in a way surprised me because I don't know how they'll continue from here on. Who knows, maybe Jamie Hayter will challenge for the gold. And Chris Statlander was seen as the one to end her run, but she's injured, so who knows. I didn't really like the match, as it was the usual Jade match, this and that. You know, you see the interference from the baddies. She finds a way to win in the end, and yeah. The next match was a trios tag team match. The Motor City Machine Guns, Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley teamed up with Jay Lethal to face Wardlow and FTR. Talk about the TNA OGs. These guys were lighting up the wrestling world in the late 2000s and early 10s. MCMG and AEW is nice. I never thought they'd ever face Wardlow of all people. It just sounds random. The match was decent, but kind of expected more. You know, the moment they announced MCMG, I'm like, oh, we're about to get some wild stuff. The ex's daughter showed up in light of Sanjay calling her a brat. Wardlow drops Lethal for the count. Personally, I hope we see him do other things, you know, this feud, it's just not interesting to me. Then after that match, Samoa Joe returns to fight against the Sanjay faction before Finlay pinned him for the count. So that happened. Okay, I hope we see MCMG in a normal tag team match with FTR, probably in a Dynamite main event. But the match itself, this one, you know, decent. I just kind of expected more, that's all. The next match was between Powerhouse Hobbs and Absolute Ricky Starks. A friendship, a bond torn. Everyone sees these two as the future of AEW, and rightfully so. Hobbs rose up the ranks in a flash. He was once a jobber, now a breakout star. Ricky Starks, everyone sees that special something in him, and in my opinion, I feel AEW is a bit lenient with him. With that said, I don't know why, but I expected more from this match. I guess the pay-per-view timing affected it. Hobbs won, which I feel was right, because Starks' sheer charisma helps him. And plus, he's probably going to win in the rematch. You know, I expect the story to develop into something, perhaps Starks gaining more confidence to finally beat him. But yeah, you know, like the match was short. Maybe there was an injury or the pay-per-view was stacked, so they're like, you know what, let's make it short. The next match was for the AEW World Tag Team Championship. Swerve and Our Glory defending the gold against the Acclaimed. Okay, it's crazy to me how over the Acclaimed got in such a short time. When I first started watching AEW, I was like, who the hell is this wannabe rapper? He started to grow on me by the time the crowds were around. He always received a great reaction. Here he called Keith Lee Lizzo, which caught me off guard, and the team's defining match up to this point has to be this. The fans are going crazy, they wanted them to score the victory and capture the titles, and the match brought out a lot of emotions, and some even felt that they should have called an audible and have the Acclaimed win the titles. I actually believed they would win near the end because of how the momentum shifted and the crowd going insane. You know, when Bowens hit the mic drop, I thought that was a 3, and that moment where Swerve accidentally dropped Keith Lee, I thought that was it. It was a tremendous match for the Acclaimed, and who knows, maybe if they knew how over the duo were, they would have changed the results. But yeah, I see a rematch in the near future. Good match. The next match was the interim AEW Women's Championship. Toni Storm, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, Jamie Hayter, and Hikaru Shida faced off. Thunder Rosa is apparently injured and had to go away for a bit. The reason why I'm saying it like this is because there's this rumor going around that she faked an injury. She didn't want to face Toni Storm. I don't know if that's true. At one point, Toni Storm even made a joke out of it on the post-show conference. This match was decent. I thought Shida had no chance. Hayter, dark horse, but it was down to Baker and Storm for me. I went with Storm because it was obvious. They advanced the Hayter and Baker story with a dramatic pinfall. She pulled out the ref. Something's going to intensify there. Shida was taken out, but she returned with a kendo stick. And to top it all off, Toni Storm dropped Britt Baker to win the title. Decent stuff. As the match progressed, there was really a great chance for those three to win it. It was getting more unpredictable. Toni winning it is the right decision, I'd say, although a lot of people were clamoring for Jamie Hayter. Following this, the next match was between Christian Cage and Jungle Boy Jack Perry. In terms of stories, this is one of the deepest and most personal on the show. This match, though, served as a way to extend the feud. Christian got slapped by Jungle Boy's mom, and I thought it was going to lead to an intense match, but then Luchasaurus once again turned and attacked Jungle Boy, dropping him on the steel. He left him beaten and broken for Christian to hit the spear, but he kicked out. So Christian hits the kill switch, the Unprettier, to win it. All of this was going down in front of Jungle Boy's mom, and once again, heel Christian is awesome. Man didn't even have to take his shirt off to win this match. You could call me a shill, you could call me whatever you want. Heel Christian is awesome, and I'm interested in seeing more of him in the future. The next match was between Bryan Danielson and Lionheart Chris Jericho. Low-key a dream match. Bryan's the elite of the elite in pro wrestling, and Chris Jericho is one of the greatest icons of all time. Bro, I thought this was MGK. The build featured Daniel Garcia, who was at a crossroads, to either go on the side of Bryan, the technical wrestling wizard, whatever the hell you want to call him, or remain with Jericho, the sports entertainer. I think we all know where this leads because of Daniel Garcia's background. Now, for some reason, I thought we were going to get a technical classic, but it didn't connect for me. I don't know. They were doing the work. It was slow-paced. You were seeing them locking these holds, this and that. In terms of execution, the way they were going about the moves, it was well done. Something was off about it. I thought it was slowly leading to something, something crazy, but it didn't. Watching it here, though, it was a bit better than watching it live, but still, it was pretty disappointing to me. Especially because of Bryan's AEW run so far. Like, this man is the world class. He's one of the best wrestlers out there. Every match on pay-per-view was something else. This, though, it wasn't that. For me. To top it all off, he lost too. Like, bro, this is Bryan Danielson, the American Dragon, an all-time great. How do you have all of the other guys, John Moxley, CM Punk, they almost never lose on one side, and Bryan's losing all the time on the other? It's just odd because you can clearly see they value him and all that. I hope he actually wins a pay-per-view match in the near future. But yeah, I think we all know where the story is going. Daniel Garcia is going to turn face. He's going to join Bryan and the BCC. Perhaps. I do wish he stays as a sports entertainer, but I don't mind it. The next match was a trios tag team match. The House of Black faced Miro, Sting, and Darby Allin. Good match. I enjoyed it a bit, but at this point, I was waiting for the main event. After the recent news, Malachi Black, his problems and whatnot, I thought the House of Black were going to score the W. Some people even thought he was going to pin Sting, and I started to believe that as well. But Malachi actually took the L himself. After that match, he greeted the fans, which made everyone think he's going away, and I hope all is well with him. He needs the break. Things aren't going well for him. When and if he returns, who knows? And the main events, Jon Moxley defends the AEW World Championship against CM Punk, a story rooted in redemption. CM Punk had a flashback to his UFC days with Moxley giving him a whooping, and it also somewhat gave legitimacy to the backstage issues. But it turned out to just be a story of Punk potentially coming back too soon. Ace Steel motivated him, and he cut this promo showing that he is ready. And for me, it just gave off Rocky vibes. It's an odd story, I didn't actually expect Moxley to win the title and lose it after 2 weeks. But anyways, the match was good. It was rough. It was violent. Unlike last time, I didn't fall asleep watching the main event. Not because that was boring, but because I was a bit tired. I woke up 10 minutes after the show finished and it says CM Punk won the AEW World Championship from Hangman Adam Page. With that said, Punk had to fight to even scrape out an opening against AEW's best. I think the result was out of question. It was obvious he was winning, but the journey getting there was good. I didn't like the match as much as others, but I still enjoyed it. And for CM Punk, he was now a 2-time AEW World Champion. Right after the match, the lights go out and we hear a phone call of Tony Khan talking to MJF and asking him to show up at All Out. Then CM Punk's heel turn from 2005 played before the Joker popped up and removed his mask before putting on his scarf. And that little touch with the scarf was so damn nice. And there he was, Maxwell Jacob Friedman. He's back in All Elite Wrestling and the crowd cheered him over CM Punk in Chicago. Like, how? One hell of an ending, although I hoped he would drop Punk, and hold the title signaling he's going to go after it. But whatever. Personally, I'm glad MJF is back. He has this element to him in AEW. Without him seems a bit off. He just has to be the next champion. He even has a new faction by the looks of it, and it's the best moment to put the title on him. It was a great moment. But despite this return that everyone wanted, the post-show overshadowed everything. Swerve and Keith Lee were pissed over somebody asking if there should have been an audible during their title match. Toni Storm said that when Thunder Rosa says she isn't injured, she could come back and lose to her. And of course, the main event. CM Punk talking the talk. First of all, his voice was so damn deep. The mic made him sound like he's some sort of final boss. Apparently, he just went off on journalists and spoke about the Colt Cabana situation. And once again, his voice was deep. He's like, I don't got to talk to Scott Colton. The voice was just funny to me. He even said that he has a bank account with his mom. He went off on him and said that the only two people to make the most money out of CM Punk is Vince McMahon and Colt Cabana. Then he went on the Elite, was still pissed about the Hangman situation and threw shots at the entire group. And he insulted the EVPs of the company. He called himself the draw of the company as well, and it was rough. During all of this, he's eating a muffin. He's eating muffins with a sharp tongue. Tony was just staring in disbelief like, what the hell is going on? He just couldn't believe what he was looking at. His facial reactions were hilarious. And he was going through a range of emotions. It was the most hilarious part of this thing. Now, personally, I thought this was an embarrassing moment for the company. It's something that shouldn't have been disclosed in public. It's just bizarre. The way Punk was speaking, he had me thinking he's like Kylian Mbappe at PSG. He's the boss. And he wasn't really showing respect to his own boss who was in front of him. And Tony, those reactions were the best part of this entire thing. Then after the show, it's reported that a couple of names were threatening to walk out. And to top it all off, we hear the Bucks confronted Punk, and it led to him striking one of them. What? Now, if this is true, there's got to be some repercussions. But then again, CM Punk is like Mbappe to me. He's the boss. It reflects badly on the company because, for one, Tony let him talk about his EVPs freely. Like, what are they going to say about that? They're going to be like, hey, you allow him to talk about us so badly when we're the ones that built this company. We're the ones that are in high positions here. What the hell? It's a rough situation, and if it comes down to it, which, who knows, it probably will, Tony's probably going to have to make a choice. The Elite or CM Punk. The guy that sold out a show on a rumor. The top merchandise guy, or the men that gave him the platform to return to, as he said, professional wrestling after 17 years. Now, Punk wasn't around when these guys built the company. You know, there was Chris Jericho, the Bucks, Moxley. All these guys were around in the beginning. CM Punk just came in 2 years later. I don't know how this is going to continue, but one thing for sure is that MJF got overshadowed. Then again, this happened to Wardlow a couple of months ago. This being a work seems unlikely to me because you're basically having everyone talk about something that didn't even involve your show. Like, why would MJF, the biggest story of the night, get overshadowed? It just doesn't make sense. But the craziest part to me was Punk bringing up Colt's mother. Like, damn. And not only that, he actually tried assaulting one of the Bucks who was in a high position. So something's got to come out of this. And if it doesn't, I guess CM Punk's the boss, right? Okay, so that's All Out. I didn't like it as much as the previous AEW pay-per-views. There's like 14 matches on here, and only a couple I thought were like amazing. Match of the night is probably the Trios Tag Team match. Either that or the Acclaimed versus Swerve and Keith Lee. At the end of the day, no matter what happened on the show, it's going to get overshadowed because of what happened afterwards. CM Punk talking the talk, eating muffins with a sharp tongue. Like, what the hell? It's still crazy to me that this happened in general. But yeah. Alright, what do you guys think of All Out? Please comment down below, and that's the first video. Make sure you hit the one winged angel on the like button, and perhaps the paradigm shift on the subscribe button. Peace. I'm out.